Hey, it's Shelly from Best Buy Canada's blog, and this week I've been testing out the Zojirushi Home Bakery Supreme. The Home Bakery Supreme is a bread maker, and the real difference between this bread maker and maybe a traditional bread maker that you own is that this bread maker will make 2-pound loaves. 2-pound loaves are very similar to the loaves that you would find in the store. So they slice up for sandwiches and they're easy to put in the toaster. So that makes them a lot more appealing than the standard 1-pound loaf that just rises really high and you have to cut in half in order to use it. It's called the Home Bakery Supreme because it does more than just bake bread. As you can see on the menu, it will make jam, it will make cake, it will create a sourdough starter for you. It's a light sourdough starter, so you still have to feed it in order to use it. But there's also different bread functions, including a homemade function that memorizes 3 different cycles that you would use, as well as the basic, quick wheat and dough. Also control the crust color of your bread, so you can choose from light, medium, and dark. If you're ever in doubt about how to use the bread maker, all you have to do is open up the included instruction booklet. Everything is very detailed in there, so there's a very small learning curve, if any at all, and you can find a whole bunch of different recipes you can try. To test out the bread maker, the first thing that I did was make a standard traditional loaf of farmhouse bread. So I used the basic function and I added all the ingredients and hit start. The machine will preheat for a few minutes, so if you do want to save time when you're baking bread, all you have to do is hit preheat while you're adding the ingredients, and the machine will heat up while you're doing that. Pretty quiet machine. Here's what it sounds like when it's kneading the dough. Really see how those dual blades in the pan get to work when you watch it knead the dough. During the 3.5 hours it takes to bake bread, it will rise and it will rest a little bit, and then it will begin baking right on schedule. You can see everything through the large view window. This is with 23 minutes remaining, so it's still not quite as brown on the top, but I did take a quick little peek. It doesn't affect the baking of the bread or anything, but maybe you don't want to let the heat out. The cycle is complete. It will say complete and it will beep, and it will also keep warm. So you can leave the bread in there for as long as you need to, or you can just pop it out and let it cool on your counter. This loaf of bread turned out amazing. It was just a basic white loaf of bread, and I followed the instructions in the booklet. The crumb was really, really great. The crust color was amazing, and it didn't crumble at all when I cut it. I recommend using a bread knife to cut it, and if you do have one of the bread knife guides so that you can slice it perfectly for sandwiches. I also decided to whip up a sweet bread, an apple bread, using the cake function. So you can see the finished product here. You just do it exactly the way that you would do the basic bread. The only difference was there was an add beep where I added the extra apples, and that just gave the mixture time to mix before you had that extra ingredient. It also turned out really great, and the kids loved it. I really enjoyed using the Zojirushi Home Bakery Supreme bread maker. It's one of the easiest bread makers I've ever used, and I love that you can make a 2-pound loaf. You can see my full written review of this great bread maker on Best Buy Canada's blog. Thanks for watching.